Yo, YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy or your girl. All right, I just ruined the video. Today we're gonna be discussing, I would say one of the three muscle groups that I can speak on. I've already spoke on shoulders, legs, back. And today, guys, we're talking about how to train your upper back, right? How to get a juicy, thick, succulent, dense upper back, right? I feel like this is literally one of the most important muscle groups in the sense that if you have a big Dorito back though and you're like walking around like this, dude, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna look like you lift, you're gonna look more muscular. Overall, it's gonna just change your physique a lot more. So that's why I'm talking about the upper back, because it is such an important muscle group to train. Not only that, does it change your physique in terms of like the way you look, right? Like your aesthetics per se. The upper back is also one of those muscles that if you get a really big, if you get a really big upper back, chances are if you do it the way that works, because let's keep it real, guys. All that like, oh, I feel 20 sets of 30, you know, like this with like 45 pounds, all of that stuff, dude, it's not gonna get you this big like Dorito dense back. Like, hold on, let me just freaking, I'm not like trying to like flex or anything right now, but like, okay, now that the video is demonetized and I just made a fool of myself, if you build an upper back the way that I'm going to discuss to you in this video, chances are it's also going to get really, really strong, right? Because we're going to be talking about things like weighted pull-ups. We're going to be talking about things like row. It's truly a misunderstood muscle group, right? So I've already kind of like hinted at how I feel about upper back training, but there's kind of these two subsets, right? We have this spectrum here, right? You got these guys on this side that are saying, hey bro, you know, you want a big upper back? Just get a 675-pound deadlift and your upper back will magically be sculpted and you'll have beautiful feathers of rear deltoid musculature and infrasupinator muscle or whatever it's called, dude. Teres major, teres minor, right? Everyone's gonna be like, just get a 675-pound deadlift or just make your deadlift go higher. That's what my boy Repito says. And hey, listen, man, I'm not a strength coach per se, right? My numbers are fairly mediocre when it comes to, you know, my deadlift, right? Like I deadlift 4 plates, okay? And at a body weight of 170 pounds, it's kind of like, it's mediocre, right? Back to my point, right? This video has just completely gone off tangent, as always, you know. We have this side of people who are saying, dude, just get your deadlift up, man. Like, that's all you need to do. Maybe do 1 pull-up, okay? But that's all you need. You just need a big deadlift, right? That minimalism guy. And then you look at his back and it's a fridge, right? It's like this. It's like, oh, wait. You said to get your deadlift up to get a big back. Like, what happened, bro? You know, you are probably just a regular guy like me, right? So you need to actually focus and hammer your upper back in order to alleviate, or in order to grow it. You know what I mean? I keep trying to use these gigabrain words, but it's just not there, right? And then we have this other side of the spectrum that I kind of described that's doing like, you know, like, oh, just get 15 pounds and put the thing in and do a single arm pull down and do like 30 reps of that for 3 sets. Like, dude, that's just not gonna work, okay? The upper back needs to be abused. Literally make yourself piss, throw up, and vomit during your upper back training sessions, okay? So yeah, we have those two sides of the spectrum and just neither of them are really right. So in this video, we're gonna be talking about, you know, kind of some tidbits, some golden tidbits, some pointers at creating a nice, dense upper back, okay? So first thing I'm gonna discuss to you is you need to build a foundation of upper back specific movements. Now, what exactly do I mean by that? Okay, so you need to ditch all of these like little cookie cutter pullovers. You know, I'm not hating on pullovers. They're beautiful exercise. I'm not hating on the rear delt flies, right? Again, these are all beautiful exercises, but I'm saying, why are you doing those for 10 sets of 30 when you need to be doing your pull-ups, right? You need to be doing your rows, okay? Let me see what this says. If you can't do a pull-up, what are you doing? Yeah, dude, it's so true. Like, if you can't do a pull-up and you're trying to train your upper back, what are you doing? Get on the lat pull down machine, crank those babies out, right? You wanna build that foundation, because I guarantee this, if you do 4 sets of 30 pull downs like this, and you do that for 6 months and you progressively overload every once in a while, right? And, you know, all that shit, but how much can you progressively overload when you're trying to go for like 20 to 30 reps, right? Your physique isn't going to change that much, or in terms of your back at least, right? But let's say you can't do a pull-up, and then you can now do, you train for 6-7 months, right? Now you can do 10 pull-ups, right? You can do 10 pull-ups with good form. Maybe now you can do 3 sets of 10 pull-ups. Your physique is going to look, at least your back is going to literally look night and day differences, okay? So you need to obtain a foundation of pull-ups, vertical pulls, and horizontal pulls. It can be really anything. Personally, if you're talking to me, some vertical pulls I really like. I love pull-ups. I love chin-ups. Okay, both of those, like, you need to be doing those. If you can't do them, and I still do these too, do lat pull-downs. Okay, vary the grip. Cue I like to use to really make sure you're getting in that back, and you don't have to specifically go this deep, but a chest to bar touch on the pull-up, right? So when you're here and you come all the way here, you can just try it right now. Imagine there's a bar right here. You feel your back kind of contracting, right? And then also rows. For me, I really like seal rows with dumbbells specifically. I like bent over rows, even though I know some people don't like them. I do. I like cable rows. I like T-bar rows. I mean, like, really anything that you can do, guys. Select maybe like 3 or 4 exercises. Like, so you have your pulls, your pull up, your chin up. Again, do a lat pull down if you can't do a pull up. So you lat pull down, your reverse grip lat pull down, right? You have your bent over rows, right? And you're training those, and you're really trying to get those up. And I would say you can probably hit them. If you're a beginner, stick to 1 to 2 times a week, I would say. Try to stick closer to 2, but again, you know, with your programming, make sure you're not going super intense, too close together. Space those days out, you know what I mean? So I train my back every day I lift, so 4 times a week. And sometimes on those off days, I do little greasing the groove pull-ups. But just stuff like that, dude. You should just be able to do pull-ups and just build that foundation, please. Build a foundation of good, strong upper back movements, okay? Pull-ups, chin-ups, rows, okay? Now, let's talk about the next part, which is going to be the most important part of this video. So listen up, okay? We're gonna be talking about volume for the upper back. Now, listen, the upper back is not one muscle. It's not your chest. It's not your shoulders. Even though your shoulders are kind of different muscles in a way, they're still kind of all the same muscle, right? But with the upper back, you have to remember this, dude. You have 3, I break it down into 3 different groups, even though the 4th, it's kind of 4 groups, but I say 3 just because it's a bit easier. And this was actually something that I got from a YouTuber, Bald Omni Man. He described it as, you know, you have your lats, you have your traps, and you have your rear delts, right? And I took that information and I said to myself, well, if I'm hitting a lat specific like row, like let's say one day I'm hitting a chin up, which is more lat dominant, and also, you know, you use your arms a little bit, but really with a chin up, you feel it in your lats, right? Let's say I'm doing chin ups, okay? And then the next day I'm doing, or 2 days later, I'm doing a row where my arms are kind of low, right? So you feel your lats more. Okay, I'm working my lats twice a week. That's good volume, right? I'm abusing them a little bit, maybe doing some pullovers too. But what about my mid traps and my rear delts? These are muscles that I'm just leaving on the table. So what you need to do is, let's say you have a day, you have your upper day, because I do upper, lower, and this is just the way I'm going to describe it to you guys. Let's say you have an upper day, okay? You're going to hit your lats in a compound movement, so a chin up, a low kind of row where you're really feeling your lats, right? Any kind of movement where you feel lats, that's a horizontal vertical pull, right? And then you're hitting your some accessory movements. So something I really like for the lats is pullovers. I think they're amazing for the lats. Or maybe you do these pull downs, right? I'm not demonizing these kind of exercises, these cookie cutter exercises. I'm saying if you want a big upper back, you need to build that foundation. I'm saying you do need the cookie cutter stuff, but you need to, it's kind of like this, guys. If you're attacking a beach, right? What do they do before they attack the beaches? They shoot artillery in to clear everything out as much as possible, right? And then the infantry comes in and they clean everything up. Okay, so think of the artillery as your pull-ups, your rows. It's really just destroying your upper back. Think of your infantry as your rear delt flies, your pullovers, all these little cookie cutter exercises, right? That are great, but not great on their own. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So yeah, you're gonna train your lats one day. You're gonna do your stuff. And then maybe the next day you hit a trap biased row. So you're rowing up here now, or you're doing a pull up and you're really trying to hit those mid traps, not your upper traps. I'm talking like the mid back, right? The kind of middle part of your back, right? So now you're hitting that. Okay, I'm gonna hit some rear delts after that now. Now you're hitting your rear delt flies. You train your lats on the upper day, and then on the lower day, you train your mid traps and your rear delts. Okay, you rest a day, and now it's back to upper. Your lats have had enough time to recover, and so have your traps and rear delts. So now you're gonna hit your lats and rear delts, or maybe even your traps and rear delts again, right? Rear delts you can really hit like 4 to 6 times a week. I'm not even kidding. Do face pulls, do rear delt flies, all these things, guys. So basically what I'm saying is break your upper back training down. Have a program. Programming is important. Break it down into those 3 groups, okay? You can go hard on the back. I would say beginners 2 times a week for those big movements, for those pull-ups, for those chin-ups, for those rows, right? But dude, intermediates, like advanced people, I guess, 4 times a week, excuse me. You know, your isolations, like your rear delt skiers, all those little isolation exercises, your pullovers, or maybe your single arm dumbbell rows, like really kind of like non-fatiguing movements, which is kind of funny because pull-ups and stuff aren't fatiguing really at all. Like they are, but in terms of like, compared to like other compound movements that you need to bring up other muscle groups, they're so, you can crank pull-ups. I can't speak today. You can crank pull-ups out like a madman, okay? Sorry, I just sparred and I got hit in the head, okay? Maybe I have brain damage, who knows? So yeah, have a program, break your upper back training down into those 3 muscle groups, your lats, your mid back, your rear delts, and your upper traps, right? Remember that it's super resilient, dude. Your upper back is extremely resilient. It can take a ton of damage. And my bros that have big upper backs, in the comments down below, tell me how you train your upper backs. Do you guys train it infrequently, or do you guys train it a lot? Yeah, so your upper back, dude, I would recommend training it 4 to 6 times a week. Use those big movements like your pull-ups, your horizontal pulls. If you're trying to get strength, you know, working maybe lower rep ranges, but for guys who just want to get generally strong and also have some hypertrophy, I would stick from anywhere from 4 reps to 10 reps, depending on how heavy you're going. And, you know, you always want to vary those rep ranges with different exercises just to get your plethora of volume for your upper back. And isolations, you know, you can hit anywhere. I stay with isolations from 8 to 20 reps. So anything from there. And I want to preface again, in the beginning of the video, I kind of was being funny and I was talking about guys who do 500 sets of 20 with this. I'm not saying that the volume for the upper back is bad. I'm just saying that if you only rely on volume, you're not going to be able to build it. Just as if you only rely on doing deadlifts to grow your upper back, how is that going to help you? You guys understand what I'm saying? So I'm saying you need both types of stimulus for your upper back, and you can break it down into multiple days so that you're not taking away from that recovery. Obviously, if you do a trap biased row, your lats are going to be used a little bit. But again, that's where being an intermediate to advanced lifter comes in. You need to know which muscles are working. Of course, though, you're going to get a tiny bit of stimulus. It's like having an arm day and then training chest. Like, you're going to always be using your triceps, right? But they're not the prime movers. Same kind of concept with this. So just think of that. That's food for thought. So we're going to be talking about form and training the upper back. Now, I have to be careful with what I'm about to say here. I'm saying form is important because a lot of people who train their back do not feel it in their back. They feel it in their arms. They feel it in their forearms specifically, right? If you're at that point, really try to learn form. Really try to learn how your back feels. So then as you keep proceeding with lifting, right, you can use this concept that I'm about to describe. So the concept I'm about to describe, there was a meme that was posted. It was a graph basically, and I forgot. It was something about bent over rows, and it was like the amount of weight used and the amount you cheated. You need to hit this point where you're maybe cheating a little bit, but it's so much weight that it's still impressive. Because we've all seen those guys in the gym that are like, they're basically doing like clean pulls, right? And they're making it a bent over row, but it's like literally they're using so much legs, right? You don't want to be that guy, but you also don't want to be the dude that I'm saying this is after you figure out how to feel your back, right? You don't want to be that guy that's kind of only using good form. I hate to say that, but here's an example of what I'm saying. So for the longest time, dude, when I was doing pull-ups, right, I would do chest to bar and then, oh, I can't touch my chest to bar anymore. Well, I guess that's failure, right? That's not failure for your upper back, right? Just kind of think of it as a drop set. So you're doing your chest to bar pull-ups and, oh, now I can't get my chest to bar. Maybe I can just get my chin over the bar. Maybe now I'm starting to come forward a little bit, you know, like doing that little thing that people do where they kind of like round. You're still using your back there. It's just now these other muscles here, they're coming in and they're sort of making it a drop set in a way. And that's the way I look at it. So again, maybe you're doing really strict barbell rows, right? You're going completely upper back, like you're not using your legs at all. Maybe you get to rep 6 and you're like, oh man, I have to start using my legs a little bit. That's okay. Just bring it in moderation. Don't just go from this beautiful, super strict row to just now you're horse cocking weight everywhere. Use your legs a little bit to get it up and then, you know, basically manipulate your form in a way that's going to help you access more volume for the upper back. Because like I said, dude, the back is so resilient. You can abuse it into submission and it will still be able to work. So let's recap really quickly because I know I go on a lot of side tangents in these videos. I'm really trying to make them informative for you guys though so that you can train better and have more results. So again, you don't want to be a guy that says deadlifts grow your back. They do, but not only deadlifts, right? You need your upper back training. You don't want to be this guy. You don't want to be this guy that says, yeah, I do 500 sets of 3 for my single arm pull down, right? That goes your upper back, okay? So get that shit out here. First thing you need to do, obtain a foundation. Get good at rows, get good at pull-ups, right? Get good at those 2 things, and then start sprinkling in your isolations, your rear delt flies, your single arm pull-arounds, all these little, nice movements, your pullover, stuff like that, that are gonna bring out certain muscle groups in your upper back. Then you can start sprinkling those in. But number one thing, get a foundation. Then learn how to program your upper back training and train it 4 to 6 times a week. 4 times you can go moderately intense to high intensity. I would say if you're gonna do high intensity 2 times a week, moderate intensity another 2 times a week for a total of 4 days, and then maybe some isolations for those other 2 days for a total of 6 times a week. Or depending on your level, maybe you're only training it twice a week, maybe you're training it 4 times a week. Again, but learn how to program, learn to have your upper day, maybe you're doing lats here, right? And then your lower day, maybe you're throwing in some traps and some rear delts, right? And then you're coming back to lats, so on and so forth. That makes sense. And then the third thing is, yes, have good form, learn how to feel your back, but once you obtain that instinct of feeling your upper back, don't be afraid to cheat some reps to get extra volume. And again, it's not a powerlifting competition, it's not a weightlifting competition. You don't have to be perfect, right? There's no standards for hypertrophy, so just get more volume in by any means, okay? So yeah, guys, hope this helped, dude. This is all my notes. Kind of was like looking at them like, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like. I'd love to hear your opinions on upper back training. Let me know if I said anything that you agree with. You're like, yeah, dude. Let me know if I said anything that's like, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard, right? Like, shut up, never make a video again. That's okay too, dude. But either way, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Do the things I said. Peace out, man. Have a good day. Train your upper backs. Let's get jacked, stacked, gangsta rap type shit.